Hi there. I'm Lansoon. And in case it's been a while for many of you, I have to rant about something for the first time in a half decade. Something totally irrelevant and silly to 99% of the world, especially in times like these. But to me, it's triggering. And I have to get it off my chest while it's still fresh on my mind and immortalize it to the internet. I'd like to introduce some of you to a very special fictional girl. This is Saber, this lovely lass from Fate Stay Night. And do you want to know her real name? Oh boy, that is the subject of today's video. See, I was scrolling through some recommended YouTube videos, and I came across this absolutely adorable gameplay footage for Fate Grand Order VR. And who is it? Among other things, you, as the master and summoner of Saber, get to enjoy a lovely summer vacation day with this beautiful blonde. And then, she reads her name out loud from a piece of paper.
Let's see here. Altria and Master's Palpitare Vacation.
Altria? Altria? Okay. I know it's been a thing for the past several years of Fate Grand Order's English release, but it's one thing to read it, and another thing entirely to hear it spoken out loud. After all, hasn't Kari Walgren the same dub voice for Saber here? Hasn't she pronounced it like this?
Splendid. For this night, Artoria Pendragon accepts your challenge. So I
And
ask, if you know me to be Arturia Pendragon, King of Britain and founder of Camelot.
first of all, let's get this out of the way. I know this might come as a shock to a certain group of people, but Japanese and English, they're two separate languages. Things have to be pronounced in a certain way in Japanese because of how their phonetical structure alphabet works. Hence why when they say the name, I'll sound it out for you. Arturia Pendragon. Now, you say it really fast and it sounds like Arturia Pendragon. Or, if you switch the R sound with an L sound, it could be sounding like Altria Pendragon. Which, if you're at all familiar with the bullshit of the L and R getting flipped in Japanese a lot, allow me to direct you to the voice of Alucard from Hellsing to enlighten all weebs. Take it away, Crispin Freeman.
The character you play in Hellsing, I can't believe no one has mentioned him, but do you think his name is Alucard or Alucard?
His name is Alucard.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
After all, Dracula spelled backwards is Alucard, not Alucard. It's been this way since Son of Dracula, which is a black and white movie from 1943. That's almost half a century before Castlevania used the name for its Bishonen pretty boy, and before Hellsing created their version of the character of Alucard. Alucard, not Alucard. Now back to the subject of the video. Who is Saber? She is a female version of King Arthur Pendragon. Arthur, not Asa. Pendragon, not Pendragon. Prior to Fate Grand Order, it was pretty cut and dry on how to pronounce her name. The only question was whether you spelled it with a UR, emphasizing the name Arthur, or an OR, emphasizing the most ancient version of the name, Artorius. Whichever way you pronounced, it was pretty nearly identical, just a very slight spelling difference. Then Fate Grand Order came along, and I think it's pretty clear that some serious Google Translate was done to completely butcher that name into Altria. Why? We already had official merch on the proper way to spell it. If my green screen doesn't stop fucking up the goddamn name. There. Artoria Pendragon. Why was this even an issue? I've seen people suggest that Altria is the correct way to Romanize the katakana for the pronunciation of the name, and that Altria is, in fact, the correct way to spell the name. But I think anyone will agree that actually pronouncing it that way is fucking stupid. And besides, Why even stick to the spelling of Pendragon if you're going to do that to her first name, right? Why not just go full English on the whole damn thing and spell it Pendragon? You know, with an L. All right, because that's not correct. And only the most hardcore of weebs would ever pronounce the name as Pendragon. It's Pendragon. It's always been Pendragon. And herein lies people's second argument in favor of the new name. The fact that she's a gender-bent, waifued version of the character gives them the right to rename her to whatever the hell they want, right? Isn't she totally fictional in this incarnation? Counterpoint. Do we actually spell Excalibur as the way the Japanese pronounce it? Is it written as Ekusu Kariba? No? Let's take a look at the character of Lancer, an ancient Celtic hero. How do the Japanese say his name? Ku-rou-do. Now, admittedly, this one is very difficult to find a conclusive answer on. I'm not of Irish descent, and even amongst Irish people, I've found a couple different variations on ways to pronounce the name. Some say the name as cu-cullen. Cu-cullen. Pretty simple, right? Others say cu-cullen, putting a lot of emphasis on an H. Let's be honest, the spelling of the name doesn't do us any favors. But those two pronunciations come from the actual country of the hero's origin. You know what pronunciation isn't used there? Kufurin. Totally incorrect. But it's how Japanese works as a spoken language. Trying to handcuff English spelling and pronunciations under the rules of Japanese, and it's ignorant. And it's outright incorrect. These people who weebify legendary Western heroes like Artoria Pendragon and cu-cullen with names like Asa Pendragon and Kufurin will rage like hell when Eastern character names are butchered by us Westerners. I go out of my way to try and correct myself when characters like Tamamo no Mae and Okita Soji have their names spoken. It's Tamamo, not Tamamo. It's Okita, not Okita. The pendulum swings both ways. Imagine my triggering when I heard Kari Walgren pronounce Saber's name this way. This is my waifu, my one true waifu. And by the way, I 100% do not blame Kari for this. She's just an actress directed to read from the script a certain way. And the new English official way of spelling the name is fucking Altria. The real issue, the root of the issue, comes from the source. Type Moon, Kinoko Nasu, whoever the hell is responsible for this travesty of my waifu's name, this Google Translate or literal adaptation of the Eastern way of pronouncing her name, allow me to steal a quote from the main character of Fate Stay Night. Just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right. That is all. Take care, folks.